Hello and welcome to Smitty's. I am a wood cutting fanatic who loves to run a chainsaw. I run alcohol chainsaws, ported chainsaws, I race chainsaws, and I even run the occasional vintage. Now remember, I cannot do this without you. You're everything to the channel, so please remember, subscribe, give that thumbs up, leave that comment. Today, we are going to have a lot of fun. How you doing? Hey, today we're going to run the 385, but this time the square chain that's on it is one that I filed. This is going to be my first attempt at a square file chain. Now, comparing my filing to the one that we were running previously, mine is obviously going to be more aggressive, much more hungry. In fact, this saw is probably going to need to be put to a 7-pin with its chain, but we don't know for certain until we try it, right? Now, I will show you what my chain looks like, my filing. I can tell you the file I received was either a factory default or it was a knockoff, like a cheap knockoff or something, because the file itself, the filing, edges, or whatever you want to call it, right on the corner, they're basically falling off. They were breaking right off. So it took me forever to get this thing filed up to the condition that it's in, and it still needs work. So I ended up ordering another file from a different company. I got a feeling this file was a knockoff. I don't know if somebody out there is producing knockoffs of these files, but it's either a knockoff or a factory defect. I'll just say that. Now, I did get another one. I'm waiting for it to come so we can clean this up a little bit, but we're going to run it today in this setup. But I can tell you, this is going to be a very hungry chain. I can tell just from looking at it, I'm expecting it to be a little bit much for this saw with this 8-pin sprocket. Now, a gentleman out there mentioned about possibly taking this to a 10-pin. We will explore that option down in the future. Whenever we go to a C83 chain, because that's going to be more of what we're going to run for racing, and we're going to compare 7, 8s, 9, 10-pin, whatever, with C83 chain and see which setup is best for this saw. And we're going to try to do it in like a 20-inch piece of wood to see how it handles. But that's down the road. We will explore that option in the future. But for now, I'm just kind of curious to see how my first hand file cuts. It's probably going to be hungry, I guarantee you. So let me show you what the chain looks like. All right, so you kind of get an idea of what she's looking like. It's hard to get a good zoom and focus on this, but you see how the corner is and how I'm trying to get it down to the inside corner. That is almost impossible with a file, it looks like. You have to get into the strap on the tooth in order to get it as far as what I did. Otherwise, that bottom edge of the corner ends up not being quite into, that corner. And I'm finding that is probably going to be extremely aggressive. So let me show you something. So you can kind of see what I mean by how it gets into the strap a little bit. Now look at how messed up that filing is. That's coming from the file because a bunch of the pieces of the file are literally just breaking off, and it's really hard to control. It wants to jump and all sorts of stuff, but that's what she looks like. Here's from this side. We're going to see what this ends up performing like. You can see that one's a little wonky. They're not all perfect. A couple of them got a little bit of a side beak on them, but for my first attempt, we're going to see what she does. Now, another thing we got to look at here is the last time this saw was ran, it appeared to be losing some performance. So either the saw is starting to eat itself, or it's literally just breaking in better and, starting to run fatter and fatter as time goes on. So you kind of have to lean it out a little bit every time to, keep the performance level where they need to be. But I'm hoping that's what's going on. I thought the saw was broke in. I went, I think, 2 or 3 cutting sessions where I didn't need to tune it. But that last one, man, she was obviously running fatter than before. So hopefully I lean it out and she comes back to life and everything. So hopefully she's not eating herself, getting ready to blow up or something. So, hey, what do you say we get to it and give her a run? I have a feeling this chain and sprocket setup aren't going to be correct. I think I'm going to have to go back to a 7, but we're going to see. Only one way to try, so I don't think I'm going to get a whole lot of cuts in on it, and we'll see how she goes. Alrighty. All right, I am pretty confident to say this is officially the fastest cutting chain I've ever ran. An 8-pin still likes it. I am surprised. I did not think the 8-pin would handle it. Wow. I'll tell you what, I'm even more impressed today than I have ever been with this saw. This thing is turning out to be something special. It has more RPM than I ever dreamed it would have. And as it gets breaking in, and you know, it's like it runs better and better and better every time I run it. It just keeps getting better. The RPM on this, I don't know if you can tell from video, but they're up there. I think we're ready. The next video I think we do on this saw, we're gonna try it with the 8-pin, this chain, and we'll put the tack on it and see what she's doing with that chain and sprocket setup and everything, because it's like, wow. I thought this chain was going to be super hungry and pull it down a whole lot. I can't hardly tell. Can't hardly tell at all. So I'm wrong. Yeah, I thought she was going to pull that saw down so much that 7-pin was going to be needed and all that stuff. Nope, I can't even tell that it's there. It just murders that wood. The noodles, all of it. When noodling though, it doesn't like it when you're perfectly straight across. It prefers it when you're tilted just a slight bit. So just off from the grain a little bit. It goes twice as fast through the wood than if you were perfectly straight. Don't know what was causing that, why that happens. I'm finding that to be more and more common. You know, the more I run and noodle and everything, I'm finding that just having it a little bit off of level, you actually cut way faster. And this one is no exception. So that oak we were cutting through is about 20 inches of wood. And it went through it as easy as if it was a little 8-inch piece of wood. Like, it didn't even struggle to get through it. It might have pulled the RPM down just a smidge. So, like, that diameter of wood is right at that point where you start to pull the RPM down just a little with the 8-pin. I'm thinking we might actually want to try to take this to a 10 or a 9 or something. Just to see what it can do with square chain. You know what I mean? I built this to be a race saw, but I did not expect it to perform at this level. And the more I run it, the better it gets. I am so happy with this saw. You can't even fathom how happy I am right now. We got the 50 done. She's running at 13.2 in RPM in the cut. And now we got to find out what this one's pulling. I don't think this one's going to be far behind it, to be honest with you. So this is going to be interesting to see. You know what I mean? I'm kind of excited to see how many RPM it's running, because I know I know we're past 12. I don't know if we got past 13. It would be awesome if we got past 13, though, wouldn't it? Past 13,000 RPM on a saw, and I'm out here running freaking firewood with it. You know, it's not showing any signs of getting warm in the cut at all. At this RPM and this performance level, I'm not showing any signs of it getting warm. Now, granted, it is wintertime, so might run into that in the summer with the heat, but for wintertime cutting, it's not showing any signs of getting warm. So, hey, you know, this is quite an exciting day for me, to be honest with you. This saw is just, it's exceeded all expectations that I had, and it's actually got me excited to go for the next race saw build. You know what I mean? We got a couple of them coming. One of them is going to be a methanol build, and the rest are all going to be gas. In fact, I'm actually thinking about, so how should I explain? See, one of the things I've been thinking about doing is taking a saw like this, but have two carburetors for it. Have the gas version, and then have another carburetor set up that I could just swap carbs, run it on methanol, and build an expansion chamber on it. Because if I can get 13 now, or close to it, I bet you with an expansion chamber, I can get 15 to 16,000 RPM in the cut. That would be awesome to see too, huh? But part of me doesn't want to do it with this saw. Part of me wants to do another one and have two separate saws. One that's gas, one that's methanol, expansion chamber and stuff. You see, I'm working on building my lineup of saws for racing. Up to this point, most of the saws that I have been running were built by other people. And now I'm going to focus on getting everything built that I built. You know what I mean? Getting everything that I've built for racing. It's a process, you know? There's a lot of racing happening right now, but I don't have my lineup ready to go race. So that's kind of what we're waiting on. And one thing I have is patience. I have more patience than you can imagine. So yeah, we'll get there. We got a 66 or 65 cc saw, I think it is, to build. We're going to build one there. We got a methanol saw that's going to be, but not expansion chamber. That's a clone saw that we're going to be racing. We got one of them to build, and I think I'm going to build two other clones. I think I'm going to replace the two clones that I was running last year in Sawfest with two that I built, and stick, you know, basically I'm sticking my my bellhopper saw on the shelf and keeping it as like a souvenir. Yeah, my Briscoe saws and stuff, kind of doing more of that. Maybe try to pick up a couple more saws that other people have built for me, you know what I mean, and turn them into souvenirs, display pieces for the wall, and then work on building my saws for performance. But if you guys have been watching this saw, all the videos on it, you're probably noticing how much performance just keeps getting better and better and better as I run it. And it does. So it takes time. It takes time to get them out, get them broke in, get them running properly. And that's what this is all about. So, hey, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this one, because this is probably the most excited I've ever been running a saw that I've built. You know what I mean? This thing is crazy. I am so excited. And, you know, you guys are going to be able to run it too if you want. you'll be able to try this saw out. It's like, I plan on being at Bill Hopper's event, and I'm having an event here at the end of July. I just haven't announced any of the details of it. But yes, last Saturday of July, actually 2 days, we're going to do a 2-day event here. So it's going to be Friday and Saturday. The last Friday and Saturday of July, we're having the event here. And, you know, I go to Sawfest. But Sawfest is more about racing and not so much about, you know, running each other's saws. That's where Hopper's event and my event are about. But anyway, hey, I hope you enjoyed this one, and we'll catch you in the next one. Later.